Welcome, this is Idea TV News Update. I am Cynthia Bassi. We begin with the headlines. East Africa advances digital cooperation with regional PPP framework. Federal government approves 14.6 billion naira for modern boats to boost inland water transport. FELA KUTI to receive first lifetime Grammy for an African artist. CASSAVA AXON partner to modernize African telecom networks. And UNDP commends KADUNA on skills youth empowerment drive. Namibia ICT minister donates phones during network tower launch. And away from Africa, US government faces partial shutdown. In health, India contends deadly NIPAH virus outbreak. And in business, Nigeria military ranks 33rd globally, 3rd in Africa in 2026 index. In sports, UN and IOC call for 52-day war truce ahead of Winter Olympics. And now the news in full. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, or IGAD, held a 3-day workshop from January 19 to the 21st this year to validate a regional public-private partnership framework aimed at expanding digital infrastructure and services across East Africa. The event was supported by the World Bank through the Eastern Africa Regional Digital Integration Project. The initiative launched in June 2023 seeks to build a unified digital market by boosting cross-border broadband, data flows and digital trade while ensuring regional priorities guide government-private sector collaboration. Dr. Fatuma Adan of IGAD described PPPs as key to unlocking the investment and innovation needed for the region's digital transformation. The World Bank notes that private sector investment has driven most telecoms growth in the region, but significant gaps remain. Closing these will require East African countries to invest between 2 and 8% of GDP annually through 2030 to strengthen connectivity, enable inclusive growth and support resilient digital systems. In another news, the federal government has approved 14.6 billion naira for the purchase of modern boats and ferries to enhance passenger and cargo transport across riverine states including Kebbi, Niger, Benue, Kogi and Kwara. The announcement was made by former NIWA Managing Director Bola Oyebamiji on Thursday in Osun State. The initiative aims to replace obsolete wooden boats, improve safety, and speed up the movement of agricultural produce from rural communities to urban markets. Oyebamiji noted that human error accounts for nearly 70% of accidents on inland waters, highlighting the need for training and discipline alongside new vessels. The plan forms part of wider efforts to strengthen Nigeria's inland waterways sector. Oyebamiji, who also received a Media Recognition Award, emphasized that improved boat supervision and public awareness will boost efficiency, safety, and confidence in water transportation. CASSAVA Technologies and AXON Networks have announced a partnership to deploy an AI-driven virtualized telecom network platform across Africa. The deal, unveiled at the Countdown 2026 conference in Cape Town from the 27th to 29th of January, aims to help operators transition efficiently from 4G to 5G while reducing operating costs. The collaboration will integrate CASSAVA's extensive fiber footprint with AXON's operator as a service platform and real-time digital twin technology, creating an end-to-end AI-managed ecosystem for network monitoring, performance optimization, and rapid service provisioning. The initiative targets faster network upgrades, improved reliability, and lower cost for telecom operators and internet service providers. Both companies say the platform will transform Africa's telecom infrastructure into a programmable digital system, supporting economic growth and digital sovereignty across the continent. Ahead, legendary Afrobeat pioneer FELA Anikulapo KUTI has become the first African artist to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys nearly 30 years after his death and becoming the first African to be honored since the award's introduction in 1963. The Recording Academy announced the honor today ahead of the 2026 Grammy Awards. FELA, who developed the Afrobeat genre alongside drummer Tony Allen, released over 50 albums and remains a global musical and cultural influence. The award will be presented at the Special Merit Award ceremony on Saturday, the 31st of January in Los Angeles, and will be received by members of the KUTI family. The award ceremony will also recognize other music legends including Carlos Santana, Chaka Khan, Whitney Houston, Cher, and Paul Simon for their lifetime contributions to the industry. The United Nations Development Programme has praised the Kaduna State government for its focus on skills development, youth empowerment, agriculture, and social investment, describing the efforts as strategic investments in human capital. The commendation came today during a courtesy visit to Governor Ubasani by a UNDP delegation led by its Nigeria resident representative LC Atafua, alongside officials from the Office of the Vice President. The UNDP highlighted initiatives such as the Kaduna State Institute of Vocational Training and Skills Development and the Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program, saying they equip young people with market-ready skills, support job creation, and align with inclusive and sustainable development goals. Namibia Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Ima Theophilos, has donated 100 mobile phones to top-performing students in their Homba community, Epupa constituency, Kunene region. The donation coincided with the launch of a new network tower in the settlement on Thursday, the 29th of January. The initiative, carried out through the Universal Service Fund, is aimed at promoting e-education and providing students in the remote area with access to digital learning platforms. Officials say the move forms part of broader efforts to expand connectivity and digital inclusion across underserved communities, ensuring more Namibians benefit from improved telecommunications infrastructure and services. We now take a quick break. The news continues when we return.
Blockchain technology. Blockchain is most commonly associated with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but its potential goes far beyond that. Blockchain offers a decentralized, secure, and transparent way to record transactions, which is being applied in industries like finance, supply chain management, and healthcare. For instance, blockchain can verify the origin of products and supply chains or ensure the integrity of medical records. But blockchain still faces hurdles. Its energy consumption and scalability are major issues. By 2025, the blockchain market is expected to grow to $39.7 billion, but widespread adoption will depend on overcoming these challenges.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News Update. Now the rest of the stories. Away from Africa, the U.S. government shut down rules today after negotiations on a spending deal stalled in the Senate. The agreement aimed at funding most government operations while lawmakers negotiate new limits on immigration enforcement faced objections from some senators on Thursday night. Funding for federal agencies expires at midnight, and even if the Senate passes the deal, it must still be approved by the Republican-controlled House, which is currently out of session. House Speaker Mike Johnson warned that recalling members in time could be difficult. The plan will temporarily separate Department of Homeland Security funding from the broader bill. Senate Democrats, reacting to recent shootings involving federal immigration agents, are demanding new restrictions on DHS operations, including limits in patrols and requirements for body cameras. And now in health news, Indian authorities say they have contained a NIPAH virus outbreak after confirming 2 cases in the eastern state of West Bengal. The Health Ministry says the cases were detected in December with 996 contacts traced, quarantined, and all testing negative. Officials say the situation is under constant monitoring, stressing that no new cases have been recorded and all public health measures remain in place. NIPAH is a highly deadly zoonotic virus with no known vaccine, and the fatality rate is estimated at between 40 and 75%. Despite the containment, several Asian countries, including Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, and China, have tightened airport screening and surveillance for travelers arriving from India as a precaution. In business news now, Nigeria's armed forces have been ranked 33rd globally and 3rd in Africa in the 2026 Global Firepower Index, reaffirming the country's military relevance despite ongoing internal security challenges. The index gives Nigeria a power index score of 0.697, assessing factors such as manpower, land, air, and naval strength, defense spending, and strategic positioning. Within Africa, Egypt ranks first and Algeria second, placing Nigeria ahead of many regional peers in West Africa and the Gulf of Guinea. The report notes that Nigeria's large active duty force, sizable reserves, and expanding arsenal continue to sustain its ranking, even amid threats from terrorism, banditry, and separatist violence. Globally, the United States, Russia, and China remain the world's top 3 military powers. The ranking comes as Nigeria's plan to increase defense spending in its 2026 budget aimed at improving troop welfare, modern equipment acquisition, intelligence capabilities, and counter-insurgency operations, underscoring Abuja's determination to maintain its role as a key regional security player. Finally, in sports news, with 1 week to go until the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics, the United Nations and the International Olympic Committee are calling for a 52-day pause in all wars. The proposed truce, beginning on 30th of January and running until 15th of March, revives an ancient Olympic tradition aimed at promoting peace, dialogue, and humanitarian relief. The initiative highlights the power of sport to create space for negotiation and reconciliation, even amid global conflicts and tensions. Past Olympic truces have seen limited successes, including temporary aid access to Sarajevo in 1994 and the joint North-South Korea March in Sydney 2000. IOC Director Kirsty Coventry emphasized that the Olympic Games offer a rare platform where competitors meet as human beings rather than adversaries. The call seeks to inspire hope and shared humanity, even if a full ceasefire cannot always be achieved. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News Update. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We bring to you news that East Africa advances digital cooperation with regional PPP framework. FG approves 14.6 billion naira for modern boats to boost inland water transport. And FELA KUTI to receive first lifetime Grammy for an African artist. CASSAVA, AXON partner to modernize African telecom networks. UNDP commends KADUNA on skills youth empowerment drive. And Namibia ICT minister donates phones during network tower launch. Away from Africa, U.S. government faces partial shutdown. And in health, India contains deadly NIPAH virus outbreak. In business, Nigeria military ranks 33rd globally, 3rd in Africa in 2026 index. And lastly, in sports, UN and IOC call for 52-day war truce ahead of Winter Olympics. And now, do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I'm Cynthia Bassi. Thank you for your time.